Okay, we're going to get out of the executive session. Thank you for everybody's patience. I will ask for a motion to authorize Corporation Counsel to appeal.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Willie, seconded by Ms. Poindexter, to authorize Corp Counsel to appeal. Is there any discussion? Ms. Willie, any discussion?
No.
Thank you. Any other council members? Oh, sorry. Ms. Young.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just wanted to say thank you to all that came out today to testify and participate in this democratic process before us, especially to those who brought the Hawaiian cultural perspective, because you remind us of where we are and where we live. And to me, at the beginning of last year when we discussed this bill to begin with, I was struck by how different it is living on an island compared to the mainland. And those were some of my most profound concerns, that our island is so special and that islands are fragile and our ecosystems are easily damaged. So last term when we did vote to approve the bill that we're discussing, it was to protect, in my mind, to protect our land, our water, and our people from the unintended and largely unknown consequences of the GMO crops and the related use of the experimental pesticides. So also what really is of concern now before us is what the ruling means to our county's ordinance that bans the cultivation of GMO Hilo and coffee, which when I worked for Councilman Pilago was adopted in 2008. It was very progressive at the time and proactive. And very important. I think we were on the cutting edge, and the other islands followed suit. So I feel that we should support the appeal, and that if nothing else, we need to reiterate our intention that we believe that it is our duty at the county level to protect the health, welfare, and safety of our island. And I guess that's about it. Everybody else said it more eloquently than I can, but I just wanted to thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Yoff. Mr. Chung, you're next.
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. In as much as I wasn't on the council when this matter was decided, I think I owe it to my colleagues and the public to explain my position. And I'm not going to really go too in-depth. I know, we're pressed for time here, but I just wanted to say, I truly do respect all of the positions that have come out on this council. Unfortunately, this issue drove a wedge through the community. And this is the classic situation of one man's meat is another man's poison. And, throughout my campaign, I did tell people who asked me about this that I really do believe that this bill is preempted by either state or law. And that was, for the time being anyway, confirmed by Federal Magistrate Kurren. Whether he's correct or not correct, I don't know. I tend to believe that he is correct. I've looked up this thing over. I disagree with the attorney, Paul, who seems to be a preeminent person in the area. But it's neither here or there. Because I believe that this matter will be appealed. It will receive a favorable vote today. But I just wanted to give my side. And this is really at the risk of being characterized as an undemocratic person, disrespectful of the process, of people. That's not the case. Moreover, am I a bad parent because I famously have said that I allow my kids to eat GMO products? I hope that's not the case. I'm here. I just want to try to make as good a decision I can. But what I'm trying to do here is really respect the minority view. I could just as well vote for this appeal. If I'm correct, this appeal will go through and Magistrate Kurren's decision will be upheld. And where does that take us? Do we go further? I don't know. But I know there are a lot of people out there, may not seem that way given the amount of people who came out today in support of Miss Willie's resolution. But there are a significant amount of people, albeit probably less than the people who are against GMOs. If we were to take a poll, probably say it's about 35% for GMO. That's my guess. But my vote today in saying no appeal is in respect to that minority group. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chung. Ms. David was next, and then Ms. Poindexter.
Thank you. And in deference to Councilmember, I do acknowledge that this very sensitive matter has drawn a wedge between our ranchers, our farmers, on both levels, on a large scale, ranchers and farmers, and small scale. We're trying to just live a life free of further chemicals in their food supply. So I agree with him that this is a very hard decision for all of us to make, but I support the appeal because I really believe that although I appreciate and I'm very sensitive to all the testimony on both sides, the justice system is actually our only place where we can receive or get a fair determination on this. Granted, they'll take a very high risk on what that decision is going to be. But at this point in time, based on our culture, based on the people that we have to protect, both sides, ranchers, farmers, children, I have to support an appeal because someone has to make that important decision. Our important decision we make today is whether we are compelled to do our duty to protect the safety of our people. And this island, I must tell you, the chemicals that are being spoken of, I come from a family of ranchers and coffee farmers. And as a young child, I farmed coffee with my family, and the 2,4-D and the paraquat were our chemicals of choice to strain our coffee. So without any means protection, no gloves, no map, nothing. And we did that till I was 16 years old. They banned paraquat. It took that long. It took my lifetime for it to be determined how dangerous these chemicals were. And now we have Roundup, which is which everyone has been using, but it's toxic and 2,4-D. But when people spray Roundup now, they have they have the full protection. So to me, this has to be decided in the court of law, and because that we cannot do that. But what we are deciding that what's at risk is which I was privileged to while we both worked for Councilmember Pelago. So, I will support an appeal, and I want to thank especially our children who came out to defy.
Thank you, Ms. Poindexter.
Yeah, I just want to Councilmember Karen E.F. stated earlier, but I wanted to know what she said. And I also what I found with Councilmember Chung, that this issue has put a wedge in our communities. It has. But there's a lot of things that come up that we always we'll be dealing with that. There's no absolute in a lot of things that we do. And I feel that my job is to look at the pros and the cons and really listen to the voices of my entire district, because I represent those people. And I've been to meetings. I voted initially for that bill to go through, and I'm not going to stop at this point. I think it's a due process to go through. It is a decision that will get overturned. You know, we tried. We have that, made that effort, and I think, you know, we cannot not, do it. We have to give it a shot, because a lot is at stake here, and especially for our coffee bill and the taro. I don't want to jeopardize those bills also. I am definitely supporting the appeal. Thank you. Thank you for putting this resolution forward.
Thank you, Mr. Ilagan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's been, I believe, more than a year. It's 2013, sometime in November, this bill was passed. And I remember here, you guys were very excited. And then the court took play into this bill. Before I explain my position, I do want to thank everybody who did testify, because it takes courage to come up here, share your thoughts. There was actually a buyer that spoke to me that I ended up getting his contact info, because he said something that really I never heard before. So what you do as a testifier, and what I like to do is try to get the most available information and then make an informed decision. It's been a year since what has changed a year from now? What has changed past year? What will change in the next 20 years? Well, to find out, GMOs has been, we've been consuming it for 20 years. And FDA, they regulate the Drug Administration, so the ingredients made from genetic engineered plants, to ensure that they are safe to eat. And pesticides were mentioned. And I just want to say this, because some things that were said, and I know everybody has their opinion. And I know that we can agree on some things, and I know we're going to disagree on other things. But the thing, what I was thinking about actually yesterday, I was watching this TED Talk, and the TED Talk was talking about vulnerability. And it takes a lot of, nobody wants to be vulnerable. The thing about vulnerability is that it's the birthplace of not only what we feel and relate to vulnerable, is that pain, that shame, that anger, that grows from vulnerability. However, joy, happiness, and feeling successful. So I want to be vulnerable to you guys and say that I made a stand when this bill passed, and that stand was against this bill. And you can go through the New York Times article, A Lonely Quest for Facts, and read about the journey. But I'm going to be vulnerable to you guys. And I know we disagree, but this is the stand I'm going to take, and I won't be supporting the appeal.
Thank you, Mr. Ilagan. Check with Mr. Onishi real quickly. Mr. Onishi?
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to say that when the council passed this legislation, we all knew that the court system would need to make a decision on it, and the court did. And so I will be supporting the decision that the court did. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Paleka?
No, I just wanted to say thank you to all who testified. And just to echo my colleagues in saying, this was a really divisive subject matter for the GMO. And I'd just like to give my reasoning as to I want to support all farmers, GMO and non-GMO. Yeah. I cannot support the appealing of the judges this year. It's just to echo and just to save time. It's basically for the same reason. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really will be next.
Okay. Number one, for me, this issue is about home rule. And when I first, ran my first time, that was sort of, how do we get the government and decision-making closer to the people, whether it's decided the way I think of something or, however. And I've worked on that on the state level. And on the state level, there have been a number of bills that would have taken away our jurisdiction of this issue. That was at Senate Bill 729, which passed and then last hearing before the House. I testified that it just took our home rule statute and just crossed out everything having to do with the welfare of the people and health. And then others, 590, that said the counties have no jurisdiction to regulate anything agriculture on that line. So I really believe that we are of the people. We're tier officials to legislate on your behalf, and I don't want an ocean between the people and the first layer of government. We don't have towns, we don't have villages, no cities. This is it. So regardless of the GMO issue, this ruling very much, if the state authority, if it overlaps, which it basically overlaps on agriculture, everything has to do with welfare and health. It's like that we have no say-so. We're giving that up. So clearly I support the appeal. I do think that we have further to go on the GMO issue and working it out. Originally, I had wanted to do an ad hoc committee and go on. Such as the anthurium and their testing. I mean, I actually think where they're complaining as a plaintiff, I think it's legal. I mean, I think there's a lot of nuances that we could work on, and how can we do it, and how can we trying to support all farmers. But at the same time, I don't want to support one section that will destroy all that is the history and the culture. And up on the other, at least this island, to not have that happen. And there's very little of the GMO here. So I think we have on the GMO issue. If GMO and you have corresponding plant crop, unless it's done in an effective way, say loss Luco does for papaya and a lot of them, it's capable, but it destroys the West. There's nothing left. We will have no heirloom, we will have no nothing, and our dedication to diversity in agriculture is just nil. So if we want to have a monoculture corporate economy of agriculture, then roll over, But if we want to move on and do this bill and work on the process with the people where there are, I want to say it's not a black and white, and that we can do more. And I do really appreciate everybody coming out. I just want to say that that we are on the forefront of the home rule issue. We are on the home front of, do the people really have a meaningful say-so in the decisions made in their lives, whether it's the way I want it or anybody else. And I feel that's really important. And we're going to be seeing it come up on the state level. We've got, let me just say, on the federal level, there were 3 bills proposed that plants were contaminated. None of them passed. So that's why they can go in and get profits. They can sue for profits. So we're really the last relief, and that's the way preemption's supposed to work. If they don't do it, and the state doesn't, feds don't do it, and the state doesn't do it, but where it's overlapping jurisdiction, we can do it. And what this ruling says is, no, you can't. But we're going to imply exclusivity. So I support the appeal, and I thank all of you, and move forward. And at the same time, I do want to honor those who spoke, who wanted to try the GMO. I just think that ways are simply not the right to harm.
Thank you, Ms. Willie. Mr. Chung, you'd like something? Oh, got it. Okay, I'm gonna see no other discussion. I'm gonna complete and shock how I feel I need to go on this issue. I think it's a very important issue for all of us here in Hawaii, in the state, nation, and world. I supported the bill in its intent in the beginning. We went through 8 months of testimony, hearing, everything, everybody was involved, and I appreciate everybody's patience in this and everybody's passion in what you think is the right for here in Hawaii. So I just want to mahalo each and every one of you, all the council members, for what they had to say. It's very important. I agree with everything. So nobody's wrong on this one. I think it's how best do we look at our future, look to ourselves, and how do we protect our Kiki. So with that, I will call the roll on the vote on the motion to authorize court counsel to appeal. Is your microphone on? Motion to authorize court counsel to appeal. Case 9, Mr. Chomp. Ms. David.
Aye.
Ms. Ia.
Aye.
Mr. Ilagan.
No.
Mr. Onishi.
No.
Mr. Paleka. No. Ms. Poindexter.
Aye.
Ms. Willie.
Aye.
Chair Kanua. Aye. Chair Kanua, you have 5 ayes. Thank you very much. The motion passes.
Mr. Chair?
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you,
Chair.
everyone. Yes, Mr. Onishi.
We have police staff here that's been waiting for like hours, and so if you could take 3 resolutions and a bill out of order right after this.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Do we know which bills? I'm gonna first take resolution 22-14 off the table. If I can have a motion, please.
To take it off the table? Yeah. Okay, I move to take it off the table.
It's been moved and seconded to take resolution 22-14 off the table. Mr. Clerk.
On the motion to take 2214 off the table, Mr. Chung. Aye. Ms. David.
Aye.
Ms. Goff.
Aye.
Mr. Ilagan.
Aye.
Mr. Onishi.
Aye.
Mr. Paleka.
Aye.
Ms. Poindexter.
Aye.
Ms. Willie.
Aye.
Chair Kunua.
Aye.
Okay.
Chair Kunua, you have 9 ayes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 22-14 is now open for discussion. Ms. Willie.
And I would like to withdraw the motion.
Thank you very much. Resolution 22-14 is withdrawn.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
may I make a motion to suspend our rules to allow voice vote?